I was 3 years old when I got my first job in management. It was 1977 when my parents brought my little sister home from the hospital. And as I looked over the edge of the bassinet at her scrunchy little pink face, I vaguely remember thinking, I'm the boss of you. And in the coming years, I got 2 more siblings. And so by the age of 6, I had a staff. And like so many other big sisters growing up, my approach was command and control. It's not that I consciously wanted things my way. I just assumed that everybody else wanted things my way too. They were just waiting for me to show up and tell them what to do. And when they didn't do whatever it was to my specifications, I did it for them, annoyed. One time, that same little sister and I were playing the kids' card game, Go Fish. You know, it's the one where you make matches. Do you have a 2? No? Okay, go fish. And she was taking forever to arrange her cards. And I said, hurry up. And she fumbled with her cards some more, and she was trying to shield them from my view, which was even more annoying. So I took all of her cards and I said, just sit there and watch me play. So if you've ever played Go Fish or any other card game for that matter, you know this is completely ridiculous. But it is a sure-to-win strategy. And when she got bored of watching me win every hand, she got up and walked out. So I'll admit, I was bossy, I was controlling, I was demanding, but I also cared a lot. Because the truth about big sisters is that our relentless intrusion into your life is because we want the best for you. And we're not sure you're going to get there on your own. We want you to love us for saving you from yourself. It's kind of like a benevolent dictatorship. And so growing up in this mindset, I collected management roles like the captain of this squad and the president of this club. And in 11th grade, I got the role of the lead defense attorney in the mock trial. And students got to pick which side they wanted to be on. And as they gathered around my desk, I thought, this is awesome, my new staff. And in the coming weeks, we prepared. And on the day of the trial, they read the scripts I'd written exactly like I told them to do. And then I delivered our closing arguments. When the jury came back in, I knew what was about to happen. We won, not guilty. I was so happy. I was so proud of them. I was so proud of myself, and mostly for them not questioning me. And that moment catalyzed the kind of manager that I wanted to be. Responsible, respected, in charge, unquestioned, and winning. So jumping ahead, I got a job at a big management consulting firm after college, and I loved it. I loved working. And for the first decade, I steadily climbed the corporate ladder, and my management style seemed to be holding up. And then I finally got that one big promotion, and with it, I got a new staff assigned to me. And when I called the first meeting after that promotion, I vaguely remember looking around the conference room at their faces and thinking, I'm the boss of you. But this wasn't a card game with my little sister or students in a pretend trial. These were highly educated adults with their own ideas about how to get things done. And for me, that was a problem. Explaining why I wanted things my way was slowing us down. Under pressure, my style shifted from benevolent dictator to just dictator, plain and simple. Without intending to, I became the world's worst manager. It was like reading a textbook of what not to do. I promised one staffer a promotion, and when her work started to slip, I changed my mind. But I never fully explained why. I didn't have the time, and I didn't know how. I vented to one team member about another, thinking that conversation was just between us. It wasn't. It never is. I even reprimanded a junior staffer in front of the whole team on his birthday. I mean, we had just had cake. I was mean. And as tensions rose, the team would come in and ask for changes, and I resented them for wasting my time. I would turn them away, one after another. And then one Friday afternoon, half my team quit. 10 out of 20 people. They came into my office, one after another, with a single sheet of paper, a resignation letter. As the last one walked out, I knew what was about to happen. I started to cry, like an ugly cry, like trying to suck the tears back into my eyes, kind of crying, and my nose was running, and I was just a mess. I was so mad at them, and I was so mad at myself. I had lost big time. And I put my face down on my desk, and the tears made my cheeks stick to all the papers and Post-it notes. And I sat there thinking, if I do nothing else in my career, I want to be a good manager. So I had to dry my eyes and start figuring out what that meant for me. Coming back in the next Monday, my first thing was to apologize to my remaining team. And in the coming week, I met with each one and for the first time started listening to what they wanted and needed from our work. And I realized what should have been obvious all along. Taking care of them was taking care of our business. And so in their most recent State of the Global Workplace report, Gallup says that only 21% of people feel engaged at work. And this has a lot to do with their immediate supervisor. And so for me to be a good manager, I had to work on myself. And of course, that process took months and is still ongoing. Went to leadership training, I got a coach, and I read a lot. And in all of that, I learned two things that unlocked my struggle and why I think so many other managers struggle too. The first was a bit of a history lesson. I'm sure I'd never really thought about it, maybe assumed managers always existed. But in fact, the title manager came about during the Industrial Revolution. Growing businesses needed people in positions to oversee a largely uneducated workforce. They were doing factory and assembly line work. They needed the machines and the people to produce consistently. The second thing I learned was research on self-determination theory by doctors Richard Ryan and Edward Deci. They say as humans, we have a basic human need for competence, feeling that we're effective in meeting demands, autonomy, having say in how we spend our time and energy, and relatedness, feeling cared for by those around us. And so while Dr. Ryan and Dr. Deci might not care for the acronym CAR, it's an easy way to remember this: competence, autonomy, and relatedness. And so what I realized is that when I had infringed on my employees' feelings of competence, autonomy, and relatedness, they shut down. And as I've shared, they eventually quit. And through my own painful process, I realized this fundamental truth. Employees don't want to be managed. They want to feel effective. They want to have say in how they work, and they want to feel connected to those around them. And they will happily follow a leader who makes those things possible. So when anyone infringes on someone's feelings of competence, autonomy, and relatedness without their express permission, they resist. Permission matters. And it's true in life as it is at work. So take flying, for example. We might like traveling, but not really riding on an airplane. For the sake of the schedule and everyone's safety, our basic human need for self-determination is taken away, temporarily. It's that, plus sitting inches away from strangers, that makes us not like flying. But we know once we land, we get our autonomy back. And so we effectively give the airline permission to manage us, because it's that, or we don't fly. So back at the office, working for a manager can feel like a never-ending plane ride. The difference is that managers, kind of like big sisters, are typically assigned to you. There's no choice in the matter. If I'd said out loud every time I thought it, I'm the boss of you, whether it was to my sister, my classmates, my team, their reflexive human response would have been, no, you're not. There was no permission granted. So now, as a leadership development trainer and coach, I've observed over and over again that managers are the solution to a problem that no longer exists in our knowledge economy. We don't need people looking over others' shoulders to manage consistency and productivity. Our outcomes are proof of our work. And while many managers have adopted a more empathetic approach, the title manager still carries all that Industrial Revolution baggage. And titles matter. Titles are an organization's attempt to grant permission for one group to control another. But an organization can't do that. Only I can do that, and only you can do that. I'm the boss of me, and you're the boss of you. You might be familiar with the saying, people don't leave jobs, they leave managers. And the data supports that. In another Gallup study, they reported that 75% of people who voluntarily left their jobs did so because of their boss, not because of the work itself. And what that tells us is that the negative impact of this management mindset on us as individuals and on our businesses is staggering. We have to rethink how work gets done. So business leaders, you can start by eliminating the role and title of managers. So, get rid of all of those deputy regional directors and VPs, and with it, weed out any boss-like behaviors that have people infringing on others' feelings of competence, autonomy, and relatedness. The benefit is that this instantly shifts employees out of resistance when they're working for someone else to shared ownership when they're working together for a common purpose. And then together, you can propel your organization to greater growth and productivity. We must manage the work, lead the people, and own the outcomes. So today, my relationship with my siblings, my childhood staff, is going strong. Almost all of them are speaking to me again. I'm kidding. We're connected to each other and our growing families. And in the years after that mass exodus, we rebuilt our project team to more than 40 strong. And while our lives and our work have taken us in different directions, we're all still close. It's possible for a big sister to grow up. And while I'll never stop caring, I believe that tempering my bossy tendencies with a respect for competence, autonomy, and relatedness, it makes it possible for us all to thrive. Thank you.